What is going on,
Yo!
everybody? We are back, and we are better than ever in season 3. All right, my name is Nick Valley.
My name is Jonah Doc, and
And this is...
Stevie St. Amand.
That's right. Rev Rock Revolution!
Revolution! Let's go!
Just scared my
All
dog.
right. Yes. Finally, Jonah, I just want to say as a side note before we get in, Jonah, I am so glad that you abandoned that long, dragged-out thing for this season, because I can't keep up with it.
I killed my
Thank you
voice
for
a couple
giving me
hours
mercy.
ago, so I am not doing that right now.
We'll just say you won't do it for season 3, just for the sake of it. We'll say we planned that. Stevie, welcome to the chaos that is this show. I couldn't be more excited. Jonah, I think you agree. I don't think we could have a better
I'm so
first guest
excited.
of season 3.
Dude.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm so excited
Nick
to hang out
and
with you guys. I
Stevie
miss
were
you.
like some of the first friends that I made in the music world, because we were all working on production and mixing together in the same program. Yeah, you guys were the first
This is true.
friends that were artists.
Wait, I thought you were going to say, if your internet just cut out the moment you were my first friends, boom. just
Oh,
cut out.
based on the
so
picture that comes up in Google.
So sad. You'd be like, I was just here in the middle of the woods with my brother.
He's all by
My dad.
lonesome.
He's all by
I was all
lonesome.
by lonesome.
That's a callback to our last episode of the last season. If you guys haven't seen that, you need to see it. So, Stevie, I'm so glad that you were here. Obviously, you fit in perfectly. We've hung out with you plenty of times over the years. Stevie, I've known you a long time now, right?
Yeah, we were in MPM together back in,
Yeah.
what was that? Was it 2021 or 2012?
20, I think. It was the end of 2020. Like the summer, like August or like September or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, we've known each other a long
Yeah,
time. It's been pretty
a
cool.
while.
Yes. And then, of course, Jonah came into the fold, and, you know, I'm sorry that we didn't start a podcast together, Stevie. I'm sorry.
That's all right. You know, I was busy trying to figure out what a bus was when we met.
I can't. We were all figuring out how auxes work. We're just constantly trying to figure that
I
out.
remember Mike just being like, yeah, they're not working because they're all set to negative infinity. And I was like, oh, I'm supposed to turn them?
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, I routed them backwards when I started, so I just had an endless feedback loop where I was like, why is there so much noise everywhere?
The feedback loop of
It's
delays and reverbs.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Oh my God. We're getting so technical here. We're 2 minutes and 40 seconds into the episode, and I love it. We've abandoned ship completely. So, yes, that Mike we were talking about, by the way, is Mike Mangini. I'm trying to pull him to be a guest on this show this year. So, Stevie, if you have any pull,
I'll
please.
see what I can do.
All right. Because I've yet to talk to him about it. We were supposed to have a conversation and got moved. I'm not calling anybody out. I would love to have Mike on the show. That's all I'm saying. But that being said, we are here with Stevie today, and I couldn't be happier about this because, like I said, Stevie, you're like a sister to me. This note that you sent me, I won't read what it says because, you know, obviously whatever, but you sent me this note when I got your merch, and I keep it right in front of me on my desk every single day as I work because you are like my big sister. You know that. And
Yes, you are like my little brother forever.
I love it. I couldn't be happier. And I'm just so glad that you're here today, and I can't wait for people to get to know you and all the people that watch the show to get to know you. Yeah, so I'm excited. Do you want to just dive in? We kind of gave them like a quick context of like how we met, but like if you want to like dive in more on that.
We met. Well, we were in a production class through Music Mastermind with Mike Mangini and Skip Logan from Almost July. And I was brand new to Logic and learning literally how to well, not how to press record because it's always a red circle. I feel like if you don't figure that out, I don't know.
Well, you could be colorblind.
Well, it's still just the circle, though. And Nick was working his life in Pro Tools, seemed much further ahead than me. I don't know how long you had been working on it at that point, but was super nice and super inviting. And I was like just this terrified person coming in. Like Melissa Mulligan had to like drag me into production, kicking and screaming. I was so terrified of it. And you were like the first person who made me feel like super like, oh, these people are nice and like I'm not gonna get made fun of. And then we furthered that relationship over our love of Dawson's Creek.
Yes. Yeah, fuck yes. My favorite show of all time.
Aw, to a character. And then I made a little poster thing for you.
Okay, that was the most brilliant thing ever. Do you still have that?
Yeah,
by the way?
I still have it in my files. Yeah.
Okay. We need to like I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like that needs to be shared with the world. That is like a
Totally
brilliant
should.
production meme. It's so great. Yeah, no, Jonah, do you
Yes.
want to like
I
describe it
need.
for him? I don't want to like take up all the
So like I took the Dawson's Creek poster. Do you know what like their little like thing is where they're all standing there with the river behind them?
No,
No.
but I could
It's
look
all
it up
right.
right now.
Anyway, it's okay. I took that and kind of divided it up so each like person had like the little like their little column, and then
Uh-huh.
underneath it was the traits on why they matched either Logic or Pro Tools, and then there was like
Oh,
Ableton,
that is
Reaper.
So they
awesome.
each represented a DAW and it
Yeah.
was
Uh-huh.
brilliant. Wait,
Oh,
what
that's
was
so
Dawson
good.
again? That was
That's
like
with Pro Tools.
I feel so slighted by that. I swear. I feel
Right. Even though I hate him.
yeah, this is true. Well, because he's my unfortunately, he's the person you don't want to relate to, but you do really hard for
I feel
me
like
at least.
Jen was Reaper, right? Was Jen Reaper?
Something like that. Yeah, she's really complicated, but once you figure out, like, she's really all of the ones were like perfect. They were perfect. The way you described them was like, how much time did you spend on that? Because it felt so very detail oriented.
I was probably in like a hyperfixation for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, honestly.
Exactly, and we all get that. I feel like
Yeah,
as
we all get
creatives,
that.
Jonah, and you can say, right, we all get into those things where we'll just spend hours doing the same thing.
Like, yeah, it's just you
Yeah.
get inspired for something, and it doesn't even matter. Like, if it's like, I don't know, it was like something that was going to be cool for us, and I was
And it's
like,
never the
I'm
thing
gonna
you
do it.
should be doing. Like, oh, I have an
Uh-huh.
assignment that's due on Friday. I should go do that. It's like, I'm going to go spend 2
No.
hours on this post. It's always that.
No, dude, art is
but that's
best
the beauty in
created
life,
in the
right?
moment. I feel that art is always best
I agree.
created in the moment. So I never like to split it
It's true.
up.
But you always have to be, even if you're not feeling like that creative, you always have to be pushing that muscle in order to
Well,
get those
sometimes I
moments
just
of
go into
inspiration.
the admin mode if I'm really not creative. Like, I'll be
Yeah.
like, okay, time to go like work on email lists, or
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
totally
I
with
feel
you.
that.
I look, I when you said admin mode, I thought you meant more of like a, like, because I'll do this too. If I'm feeling super not creative, I'll be like, okay, time for me to go Google songs of similar songs that I'd like to write and go reorganize the chord structures. And like, I'll start doing
so
that
you're
if
trying
I'm
to
totally.
trigger the creativity with your admin. I just like I'm like ADHD is not working today, so we're gonna just switch gears and do something
God,
else.
that is
We're gonna go
facts.
spend
That is so
3 hours
relatable.
getting TikTok to like us today.
Yep, exactly. Look, I do that too, so I get it. But yeah, I'm with you totally. So yeah, we met through that. Jonah came into the fold a little bit later, right?
I
Yeah,
think
when
like
did we meet?
2020, summer of 2022. I think the
Okay,
first
I was
time.
gonna guess 2022.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
when I was like ending of normal accelerator going into pro
Yeah.
was when I really started talking to you
You
guys.
met her first, right?
Yeah, I met Stevie first because she
Jonah
was
actually,
talking
like,
to me about the program.
graduated. He graduated accelerator like within my like first or second week of working for Mastermind. So like
Yeah.
he was right at the tail end and going into pro. Like so I only like had to. I only worked with him as a client. For, like,
I only had to fucking
week
work with
and a
him for like
half.
2 weeks. Thank God. I had to put up with his ass every week. Just trash talking you right in front of you, Jonah. No,
Dude,
you know why
you
it's
know
funny?
you love
Do you know why
these
it's funny to
hangouts.
trash talk Jonah? Do you know why it's funny to trash talk Jonah? Because he's the most likable person on
He
the
really
face
is.
of the earth.
Jonah's the nicest person.
It's true.
I
So
don't
it's
like
like,
having beef with
Jonah-
anyone.
Nope, definitely not. And you know that's why our show works so well, Jonah, because you know I'm constantly out there trying to stop fights.
It's a good balance.
Perfect. It's a great balance. So that being said, we all kind of fell into the same class and pocket together at one point in history, and we all got to work together and collaborate and share. So we spent a lot of time together on a weekly basis for a while. So this feels like a nice reunion for us.
You guys still get to spend like time together almost on a weekly basis for
We
this.
do. He has to put up with my ass every week. That's a more accurate
So
statement.
now that I'm actually not sick, I get to hopefully start spending weekly sessions with Zona to finish our collab.
Yeah, we have to finish our
God.
collab song.
Because
That's right.
I got sick like right after Christmas, and I've literally like been sick almost every single week since.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
So-
no, I relate to that hard. I got sick like 4 times
feel
in a row.
actually healthy today, and I'm like so excited.
Nice, that's
Yesterday was,
good.
like,
Well, you know what it is? It's the
healthy
energy.
all year.
It's the energy of the show. Rev Rock is bringing you in. Come on, you gotta lift
the
it
Rev
up.
Rock energy.
That's what I'm talking about. Couldn't be a better day.
Be in a bubble so that I don't get sick again.
No, listen. I'm totally with you because I started going out a lot more, and I got sick like 4 or 5 times like in a row. So that's just what happens. It's like when you leave. I was in a COVID bubble for so long, and like
I'm still kind of in a COVID bubble. I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie.
No, I get you. But now I'm at the point where I've been going to out into New York City like 3 or 4 times a week. So like I'm building my immune system back
I
up.
haven't been able to get to the city like since I don't know, like November of 2023.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to be there too. Which
Maybe.
hopefully I'll get to see you soon.
I don't know when my
I need to
next
get to the
trip is.
city
well,
so
it's
then I
getting
can meet
nicer
you
out.
guys.
I'm doing a show. I'm doing like a thing. I'm just gonna like talk about it
Doing
for
a
everybody.
thing.
I'm doing a theater performance in May, so I don't know what you're up to, but I'll
Well,
send you the
May,
details.
depending when it is, I'll be in Nashville to
The
see if
very
I'm
beginning
getting
of May?
slotted for this tour.
Oh, okay. Are we like making announcements?
Ooh.
Well, I don't know yet. Like, so I got contacted by an A&R rep from the Extreme tour, back in like I think it was early February, and they just
Okay.
asked me to send them some stuff, and I did my research. I like checked them out, and I was like, oh, this is like legit, because you get all those like emails and stuff from like, hey, like collab da da da, and then they're like, yeah, $150 and whatever. So like most of the things I ignore now, but like I sent them all the stuff, and then like within a week they were like, everybody on the team like wants you to come to Nashville for 5 days for the sessions and like get to know everybody, meet like some entertainment lawyers, some managers,
Wow.
some label people, a coach for
Oh,
live shows
nice.
who will like work with you, and we're
That's
gonna see if
amazing.
it's a good fit. And so after that, I'll find out if I'm actually going to be on the tour. But it's
Well,
awesome
congrats.
regardless.
That's
but,
Well,
like,
exciting.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
So
super
excited.
exciting. It's the kind of stuff we love on the show. Yes. I look, just for you in general, I just love it because I can't think of a more deserving person, and I know. And we're going to talk, I guess, a little bit about your journey and everything. So I think it's like a good segue. But
yeah,
You
it
just-
seems like
you
it's a
deserve
really
it.
good fit. So I'm very excited. It's like a social, active, like helping communities warp tour. Like there's
That's
extreme
amazing.
sports and like
Nice.
it's very warp toury music, and they also like help the community and make it free to like everyone at every tour stop and stuff like that. So it's really
Wow.
cool.
That's so cool.
yeah, that's badass. That is like, please, we're going to have update us. We can update the viewers who watch the show what's going on. But
Yeah,
that,
well, hopefully I'll be able to update you. And Baby Jonah, I'll be in California at some point over the summer, and you can come.
That would be so cool. Yeah. If you're
Wait,
in
over the
California,
summer, right?
I'll,
Did you
I'll
say-
come out.
I think I'm trying to plan a trip to California in the summer. So if you end up doing that and you find out when that summer is, I can like
Yeah.
try to position that. So then we're like, we could do like the
And then we need to
in-person
get Jonah
reunion.
out to the East Coast at some point. too.
Please.
Yes,
I told
I-
him that if he gets out to New York, he can stay with me. Like I'm fine. Like please.
Dude, I want to come up to the East Coast so badly. I want to
It's-
I want to do a East Coast run of shows with my band. We're slowly making
Please.
our way out there that way.
Nice. Okay. Well, when it happens, you know that I'm like I'm gonna be waiting at that airport hours early to pick
Hell
you up.
yeah.
Like, I'm serious. I'm serious. Oh my God.
Real friend
Poor
right there,
Stevie's.
willing to drive to JFK for you is a real friend.
Yes, Stevie's just watching, unfortunately, the bromance ensue right now. So, that being said, I would love, now that we're kind of, everybody's getting a feel for you and, why we love you in the first place, a little bit about, I guess, just your journey musically and, all that fun stuff.
Probably be better at answering this question at this point.
We all
but,
should, but we're not.
I never know like where to start because like I know it's like I always loved music ever since I was a child.
I was born in the hospital this time and date.
Came out with a guitar in my
I mean, I
hands.
guess like my real kind of music journey started with poetry.
Okay.
Because I had a lot of crap in my life as like a middle schooler and kid, and I had a phenomenal middle school English teacher, and she was like, "Hey, like, how about you don't like want to die, and instead we like channel this." And so then I went to college for that, and
Okay.
while I was going to college for that, I was also trying to learn guitar. But no
Okay.
one would teach me, and I couldn't afford lessons. So like I got a chord like every 6 months from somebody random. I would just practice it
Wow.
until I had G, C, E minor, and D, and then I could play a lot of songs.
This is true.
Nice.
This is very true.
And then it was just such a natural sync to like take like the music and put it to like the things I was writing, and that's how I started the journey. And I started just playing coffee shops and like open mics and things like that, and then I got to a point where I didn't know what to do, and then I got sick, and so I kind of stopped except for church ministry stuff. And then COVID happened, and no, actually the year before COVID, I said I'm going to take 5 years of my life and I'm going to actually really try to do this. And like 100%, like treat it like a job, because before I was just kind of like, yeah, I'll do this coffee shop here, yeah, I'll do this thing casually, and I wasn't doing anything really to make it. And then a year into that, I released an EP that was acoustic, and then COVID hit right after.
Nice.
And I couldn't play any shows. And that's when I found Mastermind and started producing, which I absolutely love now, and learning to mix, which I still don't love.
None of us do. None of us
Do
do.
it. I don't love it.
None of us do.
And completely really found my artist identity of what the music I actually wanted to be making was, because I was just kind of doing a very like folky, borderline, like tried to like make it dark, more Elliott Smithy, except I wasn't as talented on guitar, so it came out much more folky. But in my head, I had all these like epic cinematic sounds, and I was just like, well, that'll never happen. And now it happens, and that's like the most amazing thing in the entire world. So
Got it. Yeah. No, I got to watch. By the way, I just want to say, oh God, not this
the
again.
microphone.
The first mic fall of that season.
Of season 3. That's the counter going off. All right. We still have yet to mention the band who names Unremain this season. I'm going to leave that till a later date. So, by the way, I just want to throw out here real quick before I comment on that. For our viewers, Stevie is like you watch this show, like you've seen it, like she's not just like.
I know the band. I know the band that we're waiting to say.
But we're not going to say it. Oh my God. So, that just makes it all the much better because you understand, like you're like fully immersed in this. And I'm all here for it. But yeah, no, that kind of, I was going to say, I kind of got to watch that because we met like early on in your production process, like that evolution.
We're there for my first production ever, which
you.
actually is my next release.
Really?
Yeah, comes out
Oh,
April
hold
9th.
back.
It's not announced yet, so only people here. Well, it's not going to air today.
No,
I
it's
don't
not
know
airing
when it's
today. It's
But-
not.
But yeah, April 9th is when it's going to come out. So
Nice. I think this
go.
timing
We
is
get more
perfect
Stevie
too,
music.
because when is this episode coming? This episode's coming out on April 1st, so you
Nice.
timed it
What's
very
that?
well.
So I'm
That's perfect.
announcing it like right before then. So I'm announcing it on
Perfect.
Good Friday.
I've been waiting for another release from you, by the way. I've been like,
I know. It was so long. I remixed this song. I took all the plugins off and mixed it again like 25 times. I was just, I couldn't get happy with
you
it.
victimized it.
Because it was the first one, so I thought it was like done, and I like went and listened to it after 2 years later, and I'm like, oh, this mix is horrible.
Yeah,
Like,
right?
I'm like, oh my gosh, I
feel
cannot
this
release
so
this.
much.
So it
You
took-
re-recorded an entire song, Shona.
Yeah, I
Yeah, Red
recorded
Parade.
The first song, yeah, Red Parade, because it was terrible. Because the reason I released it was because it was for this like one contest, and I was like, I'll just release it out on on Spotify and everything just to see what it's all about. And then
I love the
after
new version, by the way.
program, after the program,
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
so good.
oh my gosh, what was I doing?
God, I need to fix that. Yeah, I'm with you. No, I have many like that. By the way, the joke that I told people watch the show know my song "Victimized." I must have mixed that song for like 3
I
years,
love that song though.
but
You
I
know
mixed
how
it
much
for
I love
like
that song.
3 years. It is the longest anyone, like, I think a lot of people have spent on a mix. So you get the struggle. It's real.
Yeah.
It
It's
really
real.
is. It really
Because
is.
you're like, I
Because it
love
gets
this.
out of the catalog though. Like it's no longer
Exactly.
just sitting there.
Exactly. No, it was the best feeling for me too when I finally put that out, because I was like, thank God I could just let go of this. I don't have to worry about me
I
mixing
literally
this.
will sit there. If I left it there, I would go back and fuck with it again in
Yeah.
3 months. Like
Oh,
I would
yeah.
keep doing it.
Definitely.
So-
I'm trying to learn how to do less with my mixes too. Just like I'm trying to minimize the amount of plugins that I'm
Same.
using and kind of just drawing back to, because I feel like I'm learning, and I think this is a good experience. Like, I think it really, really, really matters about how it's recorded. That's like 90% of the problem. And then like if you can get that really good, then like the other 10% is like an EQ, a compressor, some kind of effect, and you should be good like with that stuff. You know, I'm trying to drill that in my brain more and more nowadays, but it's hard because it's fun to just play with all the tools with ADHD. As you
Well,
know.
sometimes I have to just be like, it's the recording is fine because I will obsess over my vocals and I will do 3,000 takes.
Mm.
So I have to just be like, no, it's fine.
Yep. Yeah. No, you get
Just
it.
go in and comp it.
Yeah. I hate
Yep.
comping
We
vocals.
all. I love
hate
this
comping
conversation, and I
vocals.
feel like, yeah, I feel like it's going to be interesting throughout the season because we get to have you as the first guest. So not that you're like the guinea pig, but like you're like the first person that's going through this like season of guests with us, and it's going to be interesting getting everybody's different perspective. But I think a lot of people will be able to relate on that front, like just like when you're it's like it's very hard to let go of things as you're creating and move on to the next thing.
For sure.
It's a real
Or
thing.
it's very hard to finish things and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I have like 5 songs that are like, okay, they're all ready to do final vocals, and I'm like, next.
Yep.
They're all just
Exactly.
waiting for me to go and record, and I'm just like, I don't feel like doing vocals, or it's too loud today.
Yeah, exactly. Or, well,
Because home
I got a
studio,
little
like,
bit of
I'm
my
not
throat.
I'm in like, you know, a multi-family, like 1-bedroom apartment with neighbors and like motorcycles and drag racers out my window, and dogs.
Wow.
So like,
I don't even think I know this.
yeah, like at 3, like it doesn't even matter what time it is. All of us, like all of my takes that I try to do like here, like they'll be like, vroom, like in the middle of them, and then the dog will start barking.
It's atmosphere, right? It's all atmosphere.
So
You're
I
all
will go
about
to
you're
the
all about
studio.
that soundscape aesthetic, right? Use it for your advantage. Sample
Poorly
it.
placed though.
You got to sample it. Just like if you get that recording, just like use it. Like I'm telling you.
I do use some weird things as samples. I like
Yes.
putting my Easter egg samples in there.
What's the weirdest Easter egg you've ever done? I think we had a conversation about this
weirdest?
once. Me and Jonah on the show.
I don't know if I know what the weirdest one. I know what my favorite one
What's your
is.
favorite one?
In 27 Club Reject, I use Kurt Cobain's Scream reversed and put through like a million reverbs.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's so good. You
And
don't have to
after
tell
we-
everybody where the
I have
Easter
to-
egg is, but will you tell us after this is over where that is in the song?
Yeah, it's in
Okay.
a couple places actually. It comes out more
Okay.
than once.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, but we'll let the listeners figure it out because they need to. I was just gonna say this is I need to plug you for a second. You guys need to be listening to her music. It's like it's alternative heaven. It's like it's the most perfect thing.
It's amazing. I love
it. Really
all of
is
Stevie's
grunge and
releases.
industrial. It's so unique. It's such a unique sound. And I just want to say you were talking about comping vocals. Your vocal sound is so you have that print. You know how like singers that are like they have every like famous singer, like they have like that thing, like you know who it's them immediately, and that thing you have that thing in your. And we know immediately when we listen to you, and it's so like I would say you're one of the like most raw, real like artists out there. There are a lot of artists that are like trying to do what you do, but it's like it never sounds like you're trying. Like it's just you. It's just
Yeah,
inherently
it's the only way I
you.
know how to sing. So
Well, it really is though, and I mean, you guys should go to our website, by the way, StevieSaintAmand.com. I love, by the way, that you put like. Do you want to like tell them like the little thing you did like on your website with all the like rejection? It's great.
In my press section for like reviews and stuff, I have all of my rejections from like StubHub. I mean, not Stub. What's it called? What the heck is the Submit Hub?
Submit Hub.
I'm like, wait, wrong thing. And like blog emails and things like that that are just like rejecting me, but like even when some of them are trying to be mean, are actually saying things that are complimentary. Like, well, that's exactly what I was going for.
Yeah.
Like it's way too depressing for my playlist. I'm like, fair. Well, at least it's where it's supposed to be. Or like,
No, I'm with. Listen,
yeah, I love it.
feel like Stevie, and I think you can agree with this. I feel like everybody has an opinion about everything and wants to share it on everything nowadays, everywhere, all the time. It's exhausting and it's draining being a creative in that world, because like I feel like and I've obviously, like, I don't have much experience because I have this perspective which is different. Jonah and I were having this conversation, is we were like born into, I don't remember like social media, like not social media, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just like, for me, is like I look back and I'm just like, I feel like, and you can speak to this, but like I feel like for me, it's like I wish it's just the culture that it builds up for me is just, it's very draining as someone who's a creative, and you're not just hearing press and like people in the industry, it's like everybody all the time.
Yeah, I don't really spend much time on it anymore because I don't care. For the most part,
That's so real. I love
scroll, I scroll when I'm scrolling like on TikTok or Instagram, because I do it like, you know, once a week. I'll like really go kind of look through things. I'm not stopping unless it's funny. Or if it's music, I'll listen and then I just immediately save it and then I keep going. Like, I don't need to watch your whole video. If I like the song, I just add it to my Spotify. You're done. And anybody who's just like talking about opinions, like especially if they have no authority on the topic, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I don't know you. I don't know your background. I don't know anything about you.
You know what, though? That's a good point. I'm glad that you went there, because I was referring to like comment sections, but like, but the fact that you went there is so true. Everybody thinks that they are a social media influencer, or that their comment on a page matters, or like, and I feel like everybody's just trying to get attention from people no matter what.
I don't understand people who take the time and energy to just say something negative about a post. Like,
I agree.
will never understand. Just keep scrolling. Like, nobody's making you sit here.
When I hate something, I don't say this is absolute trash. I just keep scrolling.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
if I'm like, oh God, this is awful, I'll just press don't recommend this to me. Like,
it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so strange. I feel
they
like
have nothing better to do with their lives.
Today is like what like people in my grandparents' life used to like write into the newspaper about. Like, you know, like back, I feel like it was like my grandparents' time, like where people would write editorials to the paper and be like, I really, like, I feel like it's like that on just like an infinite scale.
Absolute steroids, because it's so easy to do it now. You don't have to put all the time and effort in. Like back then, it's like if they did it, they felt really passionate about it, because it was something that was like mattered to them, because they had to spend a lot of time doing it, writing it out.
Was still really dumb. I remember cleaning out my grandparents' house like after they like passed away, and I was just like looking at some of the like newspapers and stuff they saved. I'm like, why? First of all, why did they save this? Second of all, like, why did somebody spend the time to write a letter, send it to the paper about like how they don't like the new crosswalk color or something stupid? I'm like, honestly, like, my gosh, like.
But at least that's something that affects their daily life, like if they walk every day. Like, now you just get people who are like, this singer's absolute trash, or like, oh my God, this guy, when he does his videos, is so annoying, his background.
You embrace that, though. You're ready for the fight. You're just, like,
and you know I am. I'm always ready for the fight.
Fighting
and the
with
best
the comments.
It's great. It's great. I feel like I'm pulling Jonah. I feel like I'm pulling you into that world, because like you weren't always into that world. I feel like, and now you're just like fully embracing like fighting with these people.
Because I never was good at posting at social media, so I never got random commenters that would hate on the post. It would just be like my followers and stuff. But with the new social media, I don't know if I told this on the podcast yet, but there was one for our last single, Only Human. Someone was like, the only human thing would be to delete this post or something, and I somehow talked him into apologizing. I was like, bro, what music do you listen to? He's like, I forgot what he said. It was like System of a Down, Disturbed, some other bands. I was like, yeah, that's not our sound, so you don't have to hate. And he was like, oh, sorry, my bad.
It's just, you know what it is? And that's just proof right there is they're just looking for something to do because they're bored. They're sitting there. They have nothing to do. It's like, maybe I'll tick this person off and they'll engage with me and I'll have something to do.
I feel like as guys, though, you have different, like, I don't get a lot of hate. I get a lot of
Yup.
I get a lot of inappropriateness.
Inappropriateness. That's the best way we can describe that.
So
No,
that
whoa.
was always my struggle.
You don't. Okay, I just want to say this as a second. As a side note, I'm gonna address something here that you just said. You just said, as a guy, I don't experience that. Tell that to the 35-year-old, 40-year-old women, cougars in my DMs all the time.
Oh, I'm sure you experience it, but probably not to the level that most female artists.
No,
experience.
I'm not trying to claim that. I'm not trying to claim that.
But you know, you guys are attractive. I'm sure you get some.
Thank you.
Some love, but most girls aren't out there like DMing you pee pics. I'm like, what's the equivalent?
No, you're right. No, that is the equivalent. That would be the equivalent. Oh, I've been sent random dick pics before via DM.
That was narrow-minded of me. I was like, that was like.
No, it happens. It happens all the time.
I was talking from,
especially the audience standpoint that I'm at now, like the type of music that I've been making lately. It's been happening more. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not stereotyping. I'm just saying it's been happening more.
No, I watched your thing about like who listens to pop girl music.
Yeah, so it happens.
Yeah, there's demographics.
It's a demographic. It's not a stereotype.
Right.
It's a statistic.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, no, but so you get, but I get it, and obviously it's not at your scale because I feel like that. And like I said, I did make a video about this, and I think that's a perfect point. Is like, I feel like there's a lot of, and even if it's not like to be mean or like intentional, a lot of guys, like there's just this kind of misogyny with men, straight guys, about female music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I made a video kind of a bit about that, but that's my point exactly. It's like, it's like, but like maybe if I show her my, she'll dance for me, like
which will never work for anyone.
That'll never work. No, but that's what I meant when I said we need to start appreciating them as artists, because it's like men just think they're there to watch, and it's disgusting, honestly.
But like, it's not like Billie Eilish. I was like, she's hot.
Well, no, that's one thing. That's a different thing.
That wasn't my reason for like thinking she's a valid human being or a worthwhile person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being. Oh, trust me, we've had that conversation before. We're not doing that this season, Jonah. Moving on from that. But I just want to tell all of our viewers that they really, circling back somehow we got to this. See? Aren't you glad you're part of the tangent now?
I really am.
It's real. It's real. We don't just edit. It really happens like this. I just want to say that everybody here needs to go stream your music, especially the new song. I can't wait. I'm excited. But all of your catalog, it's brilliant. It's some of the most like artistically filling music to listen to. It's hard to describe, but it's very satisfying as someone who's a creative to listen to, because like this is a person who's like, we all say we're artists, quote unquote. I don't consider honestly, and this is gonna be a weird thing to say, but I consider myself a music maker. I don't think of myself as like an artist. I see you as an artist. That's a hard thing to describe.
No, I get it. That's why, like, I always tell people, I'm like, I'm not a guitarist. I just like can kind of play guitar. Like,
you're an artist. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's a whole other level of creativity to me. That just like I make music because I enjoy it and I want to like create a certain. I love it. I love it. By the way, it's great. Gotta love the dog cameos. But yeah, no, it's just a whole other level of like this real thing that like I just strive to get to one day. And I think a lot of us can, because a lot of us call ourselves artists, but I think we really see ourselves more as music makers, and you're really an artist. So,
thank you.
I mean it. It's true. I mean, Joan, I think you can agree with that, right?
No, I agree entirely.
She definitely is.
Your productions and your songwriting, it takes you on a journey and has so many unique sounds. Your music is very unique. I don't see it as like, because I feel like sometimes, like, when I feel like, Nick, you could feel this sometimes, but like with the music we make in the rock world, we like sometimes the songs are just like copies of a sound of someone, or like bands that we like,
Yeah,
or like
yeah,
a
no,
combination of
exactly.
like that. But I feel like your music is truly unique, your own sound. Like, sure, I could hear some influences here and there, but mainly it's your own unique vision.
Yeah, and it's like a window like into your soul, I feel like,
Yeah.
which is hard, very hard to do as an artist. First of all, you have to be vulnerable enough to let that happen. Keep going.
That's really kind of my strong point, is that I don't have an issue being vulnerable. Like
Mm.
I don't, that's not something that I've had to overcome, because I had to start kind of being vulnerable at a very young age in therapy.
Yeah.
And then started like, giving like talks and testimonies about like things like in high school. So
Yeah.
like being able to talk about things became so natural that now like singing about it is even easier. Like,
Yeah.
because there's
No,
like at
that
least
makes perfect sense. Which is why I think it's important, like when we're talking to like people on the show, and like when I'm talking to you, like getting like your background and your history, because I think a lot of your life, and actually I'm in my, a lot of people know I'm in my senior year of high school right now, which is crazy. I'm trying to graduate.
I was
Let's
forget
hope
that.
this happens. But I'm taking the psychology class for my last elective for this year. And it was talking all about like how people argue about whether or not people's personalities are defined by their genetics or their past experiences. And I personally believe it's a collection of both. Like it's a makeup of all of that. And for me, I feel like that can be it in music, like creatives and, yeah, bad timing. Wow, it was on such a clear point, and then, woo. Okay. What I was getting at was, oh God. Okay, I remembered it. What I was saying is, I feel like in your music, you can kind of see like your history and all of those things that put in your personality go back into your music and makes everybody's music unique if they allow themselves to do that, which you clearly have. And I feel like I'm starting to do, and Jonah, I feel like you feel like you're starting to do too.
I'm
And all of our
starting to
unique-
get more vulnerable. Yeah, I always struggled with that.
But Steve, that seems like something that's been very easy to you, and something that I feel like we've struggled with. So
Yeah.
it's just very admirable.
that's the easy part for me, whereas playing the guitar parts it's not. So
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and I think that's true. As we all have different skill sets as creatives and stuff, and I think that's why we're obsessed. You are too. Like we're all obsessed with band culture, because I feel like that's the best. Like that's just everybody with their strong skill set coming together and creating something unbelievable, and that's why we all love band culture and bands and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I feel like that's like every time I feel like we're gonna like not go into, we always get into some deeper philosophical like conversation on this show, right, Jonah? Like every time,
Yeah.
we'll go from having
Every
the most
episode.
ridiculous conversation to like it's the most deepest thoughts. Like, and I'm so glad we were able to do that this season, because I couldn't. Again, like I said, you're such like a deep and rich artist and human being that like I'm not surprised that we ended up doing that just now with you. So there couldn't be a better person to do that with. Yeah. I'm so thrilled that like you were like able to do this with us, and like I've been
Yeah,
dreaming
same.
of this since we started this show. I'm not gonna lie.
me too.
Yeah,
I
same
wanted
here.
to be
I-
at the cool kid table.
Yeah.
This is not the cool kids.
It's my version of the cool kid table.
All right, well,
My version
that's
of the cool
subjective.
kid table has never necessarily been what most people would think of as the cool kid table.
Yeah, but that's all of us.
Are usually lame.
That's all of us, though. I feel like the cool kids are lame, right?
They are lame.
They are.
They're-
I don't
Definitely.
even feel like we
boring.
really had cool kids when I went to school.
They are boring because they're very stereotypical.
We just
for
had
me,
the mean kids.
this is true.
We have
This
the
is
cool kids. I don't know who the cool kids were.
I wish that I could be like the cool kids, because all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. Okay. Wow, look at that. I'm a genius. Well, this has been really great. We're like what? Something like 40
Like
minutes in, right?
40 minutes in about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Time flies
15
on the
minutes.
podcast.
It really does. It really does fly, right? I will just say this: when we're recording this show, like Jonah, like for me at least, we like okay, what the viewers don't get to see, and I was telling Stevie about this. Sometimes we'll stop recording, and then we'll stay on for like 2 hours, just like
yeah, sometimes
bullshitting
we'll
about
talk for
shit.
like an hour, 2 hours.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I called Jonah the other day. We were like on the phone for like 3 hours or something like that.
You are like the only person in the entire world that I've ever met that's like your age that like likes to call people on the phone.
Me?
Like, I remember the first time you just like randomly FaceTimed me. I almost
was in the
like
car.
peed myself.
That's
I was
right.
like, why is he FaceTiming me? Oh my god.
That's just
I'm
what
like,
I do.
No, send a text. What is wrong with you?
I don't like texting. Well, I feel like
You have
every
to
single
send a text
time.
to tell me you're gonna FaceTime me.
Yeah, exactly. I will in the future. I'll try to do. Jonah, does it bother you when I randomly call you?
Especially as a girl, I don't know. It's like burnt into our brain. Oh God, FaceTime! Hurry up, get a filter. I don't know something.
But you're like my sister.
It was the first time though. It was like the first time you did it, and I was just like, I'm like in bed. I answered it though.
You did, because you probably thought there was something wrong with me that I called you.
Like I was so thrown off. No one ever like calls or FaceTimes me without like scheduling it or something, unless it's like my mom or dad.
It's kind of a crazy thing, right? I just want to. We can like go into this for a second. I want to say like I feel like Jonah or I were when we were on the phone, we were saying to each other like this is great. Like for me the texting back and forth, it feels.
I'd rather call over
like,
text.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't like texting either.
Okay.
Like, I talk to my best friend like as often as I can because she's in California. On the phone, like we'll text like in between a bit, like just to make sure.
No, of course.
Alive. But like, yeah, no, we'll be on the phone like all day. Like it's like hanging out because that's the only way we can hang out.
No, exactly. Yeah. Which is how I feel like with all my like the closest people in my life too. Like there's a handful of people that I'll do that with. Like I said, I feel so bad now that I just like randomly FaceTimed you that day.
No, got me out of my comfort zone, you know.
Because I was sitting. What happened was I was like, I was like, I wonder what Stevie's up to. It's like I'll just call her, and you're like, yo, what? You seem so off guard though. I will say that.
What is that?
You were like, why are you calling me? Oh my god! He's like, you were expecting me to be like hanging off a cliff or something.
Well, because at the time, like, I guess I should have expected it from you, honestly, because like when I first met you, you were like, all I do is email, and I was.
That's right.
Use email.
That's right. Wait! I didn't even use a phone then. I didn't even have a phone then because I didn't even want one.
Like I was just like Nick is like an old man. Like,
Jonah never met that version of
No.
me, Jonah. You didn't meet that version of me.
That's great. You used to use
I didn't have
only
Discord.
email.
I didn't have text. I didn't use social media. I used email to communicate with people.
You really are an old soul.
I really thought like he was just like I don't know, like in the witness protection program or something. Just didn't want to like
every time Jonah thinks that like he is the oldest soul in the room, I just have to like check his ego because he's like, I mean, I'm from the 80s, but like you are from the 30s.
Dude, you're from the Triassic period.
Like half expected Nick to give an email address that was like AOL.com.
It wasn't. I wasn't that.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. Yep. Oh my god! I just had a thought that I'm not going to share, but maybe when the recording ends, I'm going to say something about emails that I'd have to edit out. So, I'm not mentioning that. But that is true. I did use only email for a while. That's a fun fact for everybody here to get to know about me. Jonah didn't even know that. That's great though. Oh my god. Like, here's the thing is I feel like Jonah, like you embody the spirit of the 80s. Like you could have lived in that time. You feel all of that culture. I feel like sometimes you think I like popped out of a time machine or something.
I feel like you're all over the place. Yeah, you're like going through every time period.
Yes. I could have lived in I could like easily adapt. That's the thing about my personality, and maybe this is some kind of weird thing or how deep, because I was talking about psychology before. Are either of you like deep into or know a lot about that kind of stuff, like
What?
personality types and stuff.
Oh, I know some. I
I
mean, I
know a
haven't
little
taken
bit.
psychology in a while, but like, are you talking about like the Myers-Briggs personality type, or are you
I
talking
don't
about
know
like,
what it is exactly. All I know is I've taken these kind of things before where it'll say that my personality type is like, and this is kind of comes off weird. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's like not like it's described as the salesman because I easily like adapt my personality to who I'm speaking with. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I feel like I could have easily fit into any time period, and I feel like I can relate to a lot of stuff except my own generation. For some fucking reason, I ended up in this decade because I could spend time with you guys. But other than that, I don't know why I'm here right now. But you know, I'll have that debate one day. But that being said, yeah, no, I feel like it's just like a thing. I don't know what you guys feel like personality type wise, but I feel like I'm the kind of person like I'll be very like not standoffish, but like I'll kind of be observant, get to know people, look around, and then like go, okay, I know what this person will respond to and what they won't, and like not that it's not in a manipulative way. You get what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
Yeah,
I try to make people feel as comfortable and invited as possible. So I kind of like not that I change who I am, but like, oh, maybe I won't be as sarcastic with this, or maybe I'll be more sarcastic with this person, or you know what I mean?
yeah, you're
And
being considerate of other people's like
I can kind of flip
communication
that switch.
styles and emotions and things.
Yeah,
Like, what
exactly.
they're-
Exactly. Yeah, no, but I don't know what like for you that looks like, but
I don't know. I can be I can fit into things. Like I can be the super social, outgoing person, but then I need like 18 days.
a very specific amount.
Solitude. Um, but also I hate to be alone. But also I hate to be with people. So I'm very just kind of like I guess it's kind of just like I guess it's like empath. Like it's like the vibes of like the thing is just going to like I can be like if I meet somebody they might think I'm like a complete mean person. I'm trying to swear less.
I did not think that when I
like
met you.
or like I've had
I
people
wouldn't
tell me
ever.
like I come across very cold sometimes and then other people like so I think it really just kind of I'm responding to the energy of the person I'm talking to and so like if I get like a vibe from them then I probably like kind of match that and am less like
Well, I'm glad you didn't feel that way with me 'cause we clicked pretty easily, so I'll take that as a
but
compliment.
you had very high positive energy when I met you.
Well, when I met you, now you're just a
Well,
complete.
no, you do. You do now also. You
Now
have
he has
moments
more
where
energy.
You're not your like super bubbly self because you're going through stuff. Like, but when
Yeah,
I
but
met you, it was a very high like vibe. Like,
True.
welcome. Like, let's all do this. Go. And like Jonah was just such a like, hey, I'm here. And like, accept
That
me.
impression is wild. That is wild. Jonah, wait, can you do that impression of yourself real quick?
Hi, I'm here.
Jonah, can we just add that to every episode now?
We'll do
In
our
the intro, just
it's like, hey,
I'll be
I'm
like,
Nick
hey, what's
Bell.
going on, everybody?
Hey, I'm here.
I'm gonna throw that in as an Easter egg now,
Oh.
please. Stevie, watch out for that. Oh my
will.
god. I'm so glad
love
I'm so
that.
glad that you're here. Oh my god.
Same.
I can't. Oh my god. That is look, I don't feel like we're gonna be able to top that. So I feel really great. Is there anything you want to just make sure you mention or say that's important for you to like get out there before we wrap up?
For me to get out there. Now just stay alive. That's my
important.
thing. Stay alive.
Yeah.
Stay
Regardless
alive.
what situation you're in right now, stay alive.
Yeah, keep going, right? I mean, that's it always for me, like there's always the next moment that is going to be better than what you're going through right now. For me at
And
least.
some of my next moments took 3 years to get to.
True.
But trust me.
You have
They
to
come.
you have to be
Gotta
I can
keep going.
totally relate to that. I think that's I think what you're all about.
Yeah.
And I think you can really feel that and you're really like consumed by that feeling when you're listening to your music. And it's a very special thing. So my thing before we wrap up is go stream Stevie's music the second this episode is over. Stevie St.
Yes.
Amand. All right? on all platforms, right?
And
Is that
also
just your
look
handle
out
everywhere?
for her new single on April 9th.
Yes. All right, I'm super excited. I'm so unbelievably happy. We started the season
what
right.
it's called. It's called Ellipses.
Oh yeah.
Yes, ellipses. Ellipses. All right, awesome. Well, go look out for that. Go follow her on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, wherever you streamed. Tidal.
Teaser.
Teaser, exactly. Jonah, I love that. That never gets old. Well, until next time, my name is Nick Valley.
I'm Jonah Doc and I.
And he's here.
And he's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
And this is, you can say it.
Stevie St. Amand. Oh,
And this
no,
is what?
Rock Revolution.
Yes, you did both. I'm so
Revolution!
glad you did that.
Yes!
Peace out. Can't wait for the next guest next week. Thank you so much, Stevie. Hopefully we'll have you
Thank
back in the
you.
future. All right. Peace.